need something to fidget with. Okay, so today I'm going to touch on business advice. Throughout my experience, I've ran into several questions that people sometimes wonder. Startups, the cost of it, should you get funding, or do you think that music is going to be in the back, that TV is going to be in the background? Okay. Questions concerning self-funding versus funding through a bank, going about your LLC, all types of questions. And I'm definitely not somebody that hides the knowledge. I want to share that with everybody. So I'll touch on what I know from my experience and research. What I say might be different from what you find for yourself, or what you may agree or disagree on, but this is what I feel personally involving business and how all that works. So for starters, one of the questions I get is like, how do you know when you're ready? Like, how did you even start? And the answer to that is there's never a perfect time to start anything. Like if God gives you a gift and an idea in your head, then that means you have everything that you need to fulfill it. Literally all you need is yourself and your brain. It's going to take a lot of research, connections, and passion. You have to do things with a drive and with a purpose. So business wise, how I started was I literally just kind of went for it. I did a lot of different creative things, and there were times where I would get no likes, and then there were days I would maybe get 10, to now recently it's much higher than that. But it's taken years to just kind of build that clientele. And one thing that you will find is referrals are one of the best things that anyone can give you. Of course, a paying customer is always great, but referrals are great, because every person that you meet, you need to keep in mind that they have a group of friends who have a group of friends. So you need to treat everybody with respect, especially if you have a big goal and a big dream. And most importantly, when you're pursuing a business, be yourself and be your authentic self. It's okay to be inspired. Like, I see a lot of people saying like, oh, everybody does this, so I don't want to do this. And you don't want to think small, and you don't want to compare yourself to other people. That's where you first mess up. So just because whatever state you're in, let's say everybody in Minnesota sells hair and sells lashes. I read statuses about that all day, every day. That does not matter to somebody that is dreaming way bigger than Minnesota, okay? So when you start your business and your goals, and you're going after everything that you want to go after, you want to think big. You want to think 5 years ahead and map that all out. Write it on a piece of paper and write it down, so that you're forced to remind yourself and look at that and start writing down strategies on how you can get there. A market could be oversaturated, but there's always room, and you can always make a lane. It's about how you present yourself, how you treat people, and really word of mouth and how much work you put out into it. So don't get discouraged because multiple people do it, or because you see somebody did something before you. That should not matter at all. All these big box companies and all these places that are successful, they weren't worried about what other people were doing because they trusted their own abilities. So that's the first thing. Don't compare yourself to these people on the internet. Just believe in yourself and research, write, read, do all that. Do everything that you can. Literally let it become an obsession. Another piece of advice that I have is money-wise, in starting up your business, you don't need thousands and thousands of dollars to get started on your dream. So the first thing is presentation is everything, and how you advertise yourself. You want to be mindful of what and how you present yourself on social media, and as a business person. You want to start thinking bigner. What is a bigner? Nobody knows. Okay, you want to start thinking bigger, because at the end of the day, you are your brand. So it starts to be a little bit more important with the things and content that you put out. So be mindful of that. As always, be yourself, but be that professional self and that professional woman that you picture years in advance, and show up as her every day. So money. You don't need thousands and thousands of dollars to start up on your dream. So for example, if you want to do lashes, spend $100 and get your X amount of lashes. flip that money and keep reinvesting and reinvesting into your brand and into your inventory. And you want to keep doing that. So what I do with my profit and what I spend is I don't look at my profit as profit or spending money. I look at that as money to reinvest into the business. So you just want to keep going until you're at a spot where, okay, now I can branch out, do something else, and find multiple avenues and ways to make money. Another big piece of advice that I have is to not let the internet or people rush you, and also to not don't announce your moves before they're made. So that could be for several reasons. So I feel like when you announce your moves before they're made, you're doing things for the applaud of others, when it shouldn't matter. What's gonna keep you going at night and what should keep you going is literally your dream. Don't let people's response, whatever the case may be, don't let that depict or be your drive of your dream. So do not announce your moves before they're made for that reason. Another reason is because you're going to have people that copy you, and you want to make sure that your creative abilities are for yourself and for your brand. Once you release that, you can't control what others do, and you can't let that deter you or bring you down either. That happens in so many different things. We see posts all the time on social media of Fashion Nova stealing brands or whatever the case may be. There's always going to be that. With success comes other things and other responsibilities and negative effects to it too, and that's just one of it. And you can't control what other people can do. You can only control what you do and what you put out and how you react to it. And a lot of things, especially in business, do not deserve a reaction. Another piece of advice I have, especially for handling customers or customer concerns, you cannot don't get all rah-rah with people, because that's what they want to get a rise out of you. They want to get a rise out of you, and then they want to post and blast all on the internet. That's just what people do nowadays. People hide behind phones. So if somebody is dissatisfied with a service that you have provided, you have to remember that this is a customer, and this still could be a potential future customer. You have to be able to accept constructive criticism. So when you reply back to that person, make sure that you do keep their needs in mind, and majority of the time the customer is right. And it's always important to be the bigger person. Even if they came at you crazy or you feel disrespected, just try to remember to keep your composure, because a lot of times people just want to see you acting crazy. What else? LLCs, trademarks, all of that. Do your research on that. If you have a really good idea and you want to make sure that your brand and nothing is ever stolen, taken, all that, do your research. Take the time to trademark things to get your LLC. A lot of things you can actually do online as well. Just make sure that you create a folder for yourself and print out a physical form of the documentation once that's complete. Keep your receipts of the things that you purchase, anything that could be used or that you use towards your business. Keep that in a folder for tax purposes. You just want to stay organized. What else? Another important part of business that I think people don't touch on is you have to take care of yourself as well. There's a lot of times where you're gonna bite off sometimes more than you can chew, and so you have to remember to take a day or two. If you need to rest, it's important to take care of yourself and take the time that you need, because it's better to take those couple days than to let it go on and negatively affect you down the road. You have to take care of yourself as well. It's really easy to get consumed with your business and to forget about yourself. So also remember that taking care of yourself, taking the time, to have a social life, to try to talk to friends, even if it's not about going out, reading a book, educating yourself, watching a documentary, just doing certain things for yourself. You have to remember that that is important. You are your brand, and you have to be healthy to be able to carry your brand to the best that it can be. One important thing that I do suggest when starting a business is to definitely have a logo, a website, and business cards. Business cards are going to be so important because let's say your product that you're selling is a physical product, lashes, shoes, I'm lashes, robes, I'm all types of things. So I know that when I'm wearing those things out in public, I will get compliments and people will ask. So you want to be able to be like, hey sis, that's my brand, here's a card. So that's just that easy way to get that free advertisement out. So you want to make sure that you're prepared and have those necessities on hand for your business. And it's also a way that you will look more reliable to future customers or to people that have been watching you. It's important to have a website, even reviews, show reviews, and do things to grow your internet trust, because a lot of people scam and do certain things that ruin things for other business owners. So the more that you take the time to brand yourself and your brand professionally, that will really help you out in the long run. As of right now, I'm working on multiple books. I am working on guided journals and so many things that will help business women like you and I kind of balance our lives, figure out our goals, plan. It's going to be advice. It's literally going to be, I want it to be like a sister type of feel. And that's my goal for these videos. I hope that it feels like you're talking to a friend, you know?